Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for the 7th of July, and starting on the daily chart here. Not a lot to report today, but as we mentioned yesterday, we can have a look at, well, we're looking at wave 3 being here, and an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here for wave 4. So it's possible that wave 4 is already in place, but we're also looking at this particular pattern through here, as you know, as an A wave down to here, and then an A and a B and a C wave over here, and then coming down over here. So we still need to work through this a little bit, and let's just go in and have a look at these particular options that we've got here with this. So this is one that we've been looking at here, and this is pretty much how we're looking at the S&P 500 and so on. And in that case, we're looking at 5 waves down here, and then an A wave and a B wave here, and then a C wave up here. We've still got one more move to go up here as well, so just clean this up here. So we should see a move up here, making a new high above this one here. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. Now, we'll either come all the way down through here, as I mentioned before, for wave C or 4, or we're just going to pull back in 3 waves here. That will probably pull back a bit further than this, but what it will do, it will leave us those 3 waves. It will leave us this top and this top here to go long on if the market's going to just continue up from that point there. So yeah, that's what we're sort of working through. We can have a look at this in this whole pattern here in different ways. This is the other way to look at it, with wave 3 here, an A wave here, a B wave here as an A and a B into C, and then down for 1 and back for 2 here, because this is the high on the cash market. Down for 1 and back for 2, 3, 4, 5 here for C or 4, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1 to move up through here, and coming into these old highs here nearly, we'll be able to see either an ABC pattern here. The 61.8% will be much lower than that, of course, so we can look at that here, and it doesn't have to pull back to that point, but it's always a starting point. So there we go. And then looking for a move higher from that point. In both cases, we won't know when this move comes down here what it's going to be until it matures. But as I mentioned, that second high here is where we can go long. And this will also be the same as the move that's coming all the way down here, really, because it will be well, probably won't come all that way down there, because generally what I find is that when we're having a correction across a level like here, like 6,000, if the first leg comes down, if the second leg comes up equal to the top there or close to it, then it's meaning that the market's quite strong, and it won't want to pull all the way back down here where it's supposed to. It'll just come back down to the previous levels and then move up from that point, generally speaking. So both cases coming down through here will have the same internal wave structures. So 5 waves in the first wave, 3 and 5 here. So it will take a little while. We need to allow this to unfold here. And secondly, we don't particularly want to sell right at the top here and trade against the main trend, not only this trend, but also the bigger trend here as well. So we just need to be a little bit sort of cautious. We can trade up here with the trend because this is a pullback, and we can have a look at that. Also, too, while I'm here, let's just check out some of the sectors. So this is the XMJ here. And in this case here, we can look at the market to the upside of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave 1 or wave A here, and then an A and a B and a C here for the corrective move here. So, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. So so we're looking at this here as wave 3 up here for this. Now it's the same thing here as well. are we going to see? We'll probably get one more little push up in here today for that. We're looking for one more little wave up here, and then we're looking for a move back down through here, and then a move to the upside from that point there. But I just want to point out too that, and I think it's important to point this out, is that we've got 5 waves here, 3 waves here, and 5 waves here. So technically this could be a correction here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for this. So until we get past that top there, or we can identify this being corrective, because as an A, B, and C here, we could look at this down here as wave 1 here, and then coming back for wave 2 here, and then looking for a longer, you know, a more bearish move coming into play. So this is a setup for, you know, for a bearish market, but we don't have any evidence of that just yet. But the way that the structure is sitting, it's there, you know, definitely there as an A and a B and a C wave here for that. So we really need to move past this hopefully bullish continuation correction to the upside here. We just got to figure out, because wave 4s get a bit tricky, as you may know. The wave 2s are normally quite simple as a 5-3-5 structure here. And also too, this came up, you know, quite high here as well, really. I mean, making new highs here for this. So, you know, we could just do that the same here as well. I know the one of the good signs of the bullish market is the MDX, which is the mid caps here. So with the mid caps here, it's a slightly different pattern altogether in all of this here. But what it does show here is it shows that we've actually come up and made a new high above this one here. So this is a sort of a reflection that, you know, gives us a slight positive edge to the market as a whole, as such. So yeah, you know, and as I mentioned before, we can't really even trade the banks just yet either until this pattern is complete, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving up through here. So I'll just check what I've got here for these. So this is where we are at the moment, basically. So just on the 1 hour chart here, we've got this down here as the A wave here, and then an A and a B wave. The B wave would actually be sitting here, so that would make this here the A, the B, and the C here, then up for 1 and back for 2, up for 3 here. And yesterday we spoke of this here, that the problem would be at 6-1 here, and I also mentioned that I didn't pull it apart, but it just looked it looked like 5 waves here. So impulsive, so that means that after a correction we would get another move down here. So we've got that now. So if the market opens positively, then you can look to go long, and we'd be looking for a move to take this top out here for that to complete this 5th wave here. So you could look at different places to add into the market here for all of this as well. Yeah, so on the trade side, that's what we've got there, and we're looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the upside here. Will it reach 6-2? I don't know, but anywhere above this one here, you'll need to start protecting yourself at this stage, but yeah, should push a little bit higher for that. Yeah, and as mentioned, we can't trade the banks as well. Now, CBA could make a new high here. If we just have a look at this for a moment, let's just bring this back up here. Let's move this out of the way. So with CBA here, it may make a new high here for this, but it's got a slightly different pattern here than A and Z and so on. In that it's a little bit difficult to point out, but yeah, it can still have, this can make one more new high here and still be all corrective here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up to this point here. So just be careful, you know, even because I know from here we can look at this as 1 and 2 in here. So 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here, making a new high, and then get trapped in by buying a new high here, and then we'll see the market move down from that point, because what we're really looking for here is from this low here is just a little 5-wave move up through there. And then if it's going to be bullish, then we're going to get a 3-wave counter trend from that point there. And then what that will do, that will set us up with long trades from this high point here, this second high here, or even the top here as well. If the market moves up from that point. Otherwise it will just move up and drop from that point. So this will be our setup, but we do need that 5 waves there to complete as well. When we look at ANZ, which hasn't moved as high, it's got a slightly same pattern as all of this, but in its own way it's unique and a little bit different. It just basically dropped lower than here for this. So in this case here, you know, if we're looking for 5 waves up here, it's not going to make a new high here. So it's a different pattern. So we can look at this being an impulsive wave here, and then an A wave, a B wave, and then 5 waves up here, which would leave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here, making a new high here. Now, this 5 waves here could be wave 1. That would also pull back for wave 2 and then move higher. Well, then we could buy that new high that comes in. But once again, we do need that new high to come into play here for that. So we do need, from this low here, we do need to see something like this here. So 5 waves up and then 3 waves back. And then we can look to go long at that point. I'm just concerned that this whole thing here could be an A and a B and a C trap here, with down for 1, an A, B, C back for 2 here, and then pulling down further down here. So I don't want to get people trapped in this little space here for this. So we don't have a lead on the banks at the moment for this. We are seeing a bit of strength in iron ore, and we can have a look at the iron ore chart. We know China is pumping a lot of money into the equities, which we should also just have a quick look at here as well. So as the US markets that really pushed through there, didn't it? It's a third of a third, so I was expecting some sort of little move across here. But the main point I just wanted to show here is that the CCP are pumping money into their system and pushing the equities market higher. So that's going to continue to move higher as well here, because we've counted this up. Well, we noted this here as an ABC correction, and we worked all the way through here. I don't know if you recall, little 5 waves in here, which we ended up labeling wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here. And we went, well, I didn't go long personally through here, but just suggested that high there was the place to go long there at that particular point. And now we're in this 3rd wave here that it's still not, if I can adjust these now, which will be up here at 1700 somewhere there. And that will be wave 3 sitting up there now for that. So I can see from this point, I know we've got wave 1 here and 2 here, and then we've got this wave 1 and 2 here, and then this would be wave 1 and 2 in here, and there'll be 3. So this needs to play out more here for this. You know, this has got more to go here. So what effect that actually has, you know, beyond their borders, I'm not sure, because it's just, you know, it's just pumping up a tire, really, you know. They're just doing what the US are doing. Makes things look good, doesn't it? But is it? Yeah, back onto the track for iron ore here, if I can just squeeze that in. We were looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here, and 5 here for wave 1. And I can see that this can be finished here in terms of down for an A wave here, back for a B wave, and then 5 waves down in this little sequence here. And technically we can go long above this high here. We were expecting it to pull back into this area here, but if China are ramping up, well then, you know, they're going to need iron ore, so then we may need to put that just there. But anyway, that gives us a long trade above that previous high area here for that. Yeah, we'll just see. I'll just leave that there for the time being. But yeah, that's where some pressure will be coming from. And also, we know copper. If I can just bring copper up for a moment as well. Sorry to drag on here a little bit. Just in the bigger picture here, you know, when this move down here occurred, I just saw it as corrective, and I've just been keeping my eye on it moving up. But you know, it's, you know, technically for this here, we should see eventually a move above this high here because of this being a corrective move here. Yes, sure, it may get a bit more complicated. You know, we may end up seeing, well, it does certainly looks impulsive here. Certainly like crude oil as well, doing much the same thing. So they're all those commodities are pushing up. So it will, you know, take those resources higher in that instance. So I'll just leave it at there. But there is that strength coming from the resource sector, and China now are pumping in money into their economy. And yeah, so I'll just leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.